All right. I'm talking today to you about the word confidence. Now, Dan, I
Ooh.
feel like a lot of people think confidence is something you have or you don't have. A lot of people also, people I work with, they think, well, if I'm more capable, once I become more experienced, oh, once I get the title, they think automatically there's going to be this magical confidence that shows up when they get to this new to this new position. But what if confidence isn't the real issue? And so that's what I want to explore today with you is what's really happening underneath confidence. And anything before I ask you my usual question?
Yeah, and like high level, and it gets said a lot. Confidence is an outcome. It's not a prerequisite. You don't need to be confident to do it. You need the bravery to do the new thing. And that's just like the underlying on it all. It,
Yeah.
to say I need to be confident is it's a bypass. It's I don't I want to say it without being so bold, but I think I need to say it to be so bold. It's to say I'm not confident is actually a victim mind state
Mm.
because you can be there. And whether we're tying back to our first episode of it's procrastination and why are we putting it off? Oh, because I have an excuse that I'm not confident. No, you're not believing in yourself.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought of that sort of coming from a victim position, but I like that. So before we start exploring, we're going to do three themes around this word. But let's say somebody says to you, I just don't feel confident, Dan. What do you think may be misunderstood? Like, what might be going on underneath that?
What are they afraid of? What are they afraid of comes first.
Okay.
Because to not feel confident, there's got to be something under it. Because if you were confident, you would just go through. You would charge through walls.
Well, and you wouldn't be
But if I'm
saying
running, and there's that
it.
too, you wouldn't be saying it. So
Yeah.
what's the driver behind this lack of perceived confidence?
All right. And so that brings me to theme one. I'm kind of thinking around, self-trust. Could confidence be less about certainty and more about trusting yourself to handle whatever happens?
Sure. If Ooh, that brings up an interesting angle. Because if
Yeah.
on one very transactional level, if I don't think I have the skills to do it, that or the a bit two different things there. So if I don't think I have the skills to do it, I won't be confident in doing it, but I can learn the skills. So there's one level.
And I think that's a piece of it. I think that people
Mm-hmm.
think it is about learning the skills or getting the
Yeah.
experience or getting the title. Yes.
Yeah. And then there's the other word I almost said there and had to pull back was ability. Because ability isn't necessarily just about skills, it's about belief. And now we're coming into those that deeper driver of do I believe I can? Do I believe I'm capable to do it? And then that might foster an idea of confidence or not.
Yeah, I think it could be also they're struggling to trust their own judgment, right?
Yeah,
Like, how many
yeah,
people have you
because
seen have the skills, have the experience, and they still don't have the confidence? So could this be you just can't, you're struggling to deal with your own judgment around the situation?
yeah, because how many of us when we were growing up were told we didn't know a damn thing and that we weren't good at it because our parents, most likely, who had years of experience at it, were telling us we weren't doing it right. And you get enough of that shit over time, you don't believe in yourself. Even when you are supremely capable and able, that underlying thought of the imposter that we get indoctrinated to from hearing it for so long is just there saying, I'm not good enough yet. Or, and that's kind of the one that's I'm not good enough. And sometimes we'll tag the yet on it.
Yeah, it's funny because you definitely called out a generation, and I mean I'm Gen X. I think you're baby boomer. Is that
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or Gen X?
No,
Yeah.
I'm an
And
Xer.
oh, you're an Xer. Okay, yeah. All right. So, but I know baby boomers too. So I know that baby
did
boomers
you
and Gen
did you just
Xers.
hey boomer me?
I don't know why I thought you were, you're the big 6-0. I thought you must be a baby boomer.
No, the Xers are moving into the 60s
We are
now.
moving into
Yeah.
the 60s. So these two generations, though, that is exactly what we went through. I don't know if the millennials, these younger generations, I don't know if their parentings are doing that to them. I think they're not because that was done to them. But definitely, I think that that is huge. And that brings me to theme two, which you just kind of named. Thank you very much. Fear of judgment. How much confidence is affected by your own concern about what other people might think? So going back to what does my parent think? Am I doing it correctly? Am I doing it right? Which
Yep.
is impairing
And
their judgment. That's impairing self-independent judgment when you're doing that to, say, a child, right?
mhm. And it's about putting our confidence in our ability now is dependent on somebody else's opinion. Fuck them. That's how I feel about it. Why do we not? Why do we diminish ourselves when we think about somebody else's opinion?
Well, or we imagine. I mean, think about preconceived imagination. Our confidence probably erodes when we start to think about self-criticism, other people criticizing us, being
Mm-hmm.
evaluated. I mean, all of that, imagining what that looks like, I think begins to also break down our confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean we
And
can't, we don't look at it?
wait, we don't look at what? Before I
Well,
jump in there.
does that mean we don't like we try not to like create the imagination of criticism and evaluation? Do we try to avoid thinking about that so it doesn't erode our confidence?
I think there's a space of how we enter into it.
Mhm.
If we enter into it of what are they going to think, and we go into all the deprecating thoughts of they are going to judge us poorly, they're going to say we did it wrong, they're going to give us all this unsolicited feedback that we didn't want because we're going forward, and then we don't do it because we've prejudged it through their eyes of what we think they're going to say. It's probably not helpful to do it that way. If we were to look at it less in judgment and more in the other word you used, evaluation. If I were to do this, what might they say? They might say this. Okay, well, how can I do it better? Or do I really care about their opinion in that point? So maybe there's a way to look at it where it doesn't pile on, but actually gives us an opportunity either to adjust course and still be ourselves, or to decide that I'm putting their opinions on me and worrying about what somebody else is going to think when I really want to be doing this for myself, and coming back to personal sovereignty, personal ownership. And now I'm just reminded of the book of The Courage to Be Disliked. Of if you're not making a choice to irritate someone or upset them or harm them in any way, you're making a choice for self, and someone along the line has a problem with it, that's not on you, that's on them. And stop choosing somebody else's opinion when you're trying to live into your life and with self-ownership.
Yeah, and that's so easy said than done, which brings me to the third theme. Where is your worth anchored? What changes when a person's worth is tied to performance rather than something deeper and more stable? And I think you just mentioned it. I think this is why it's those things are happening because we've got our worth tied to performance, to the evaluation, to what everybody's saying. And if that's what it's tied to, of course it's fragile. Of course it's going to break down. You can't
Because
survive that.
is there all things that are outside of you and outside of your control.
Hmm.
So somebody else's opinion out of your control. Um, and what comes in here a lot is the numbers in the bank account, the numbers in the salary and the paycheck at the end of the week, the month, the every 2 weeks, the job title, all this stuff that we strive for, and they put some level of validation on our worth. But when they go away, who are we after that? Or we start looking around at everybody else in my age bracket has this. Oh, I guess I'm not good enough because I'm not there. Versus they look at us and say, wow, like, got your shit together. Yeah, because I stopped giving up on myself a long time ago and it came back to take care of me. So there's this really interesting thing of like when we're putting our value in things outside of us that are all lagging indicators, because your paycheck comes along later once you've kind of owned into it. We are not taking care of ourselves and sitting in our confidence that even has us going for it. Like, you if you weren't striving for that next level in any way, the confidence is already there telling you to go for it. And the confidence pre-existed the condition of the outcome. Yet now we
Yeah.
suddenly put our confidence and our value on the outcome. No, go back to what drove it in the first place.
Yeah, I think when our confidence is grounded more deeply, our action becomes possible even in uncertainty. So when
Mm-hmm.
things are uncertain, it's still there, it doesn't waver. And I think my thoughts, sort of to close out this video, is I don't know if confidence is really about being fearless. I think it's about learning to trust yourself, loosening the grip on other people's opinions. And then I think anchoring your worth, right, in something more stable than success or failure.
And that reminds me of something one of my coaches years ago said to me, Chris Joseph in the UK, and has a model of the flywheel of confidence. And he's like, you know, the what gets the flywheel moving isn't more confidence. That's the outcome. It's the little gear that starts it is the courage to take the new action. Because once we're in motion, we can adjust. And that courage comes back to trust in self, self belief, and the risk of it going wrong. Because if we just sit here, nothing changes. But when we're willing, and if we do the same thing over and over, we know what that definition is. When we have the courage to do the new thing, that doesn't require confidence. It's about, I'm going to be brave. That doesn't mean I'm fearless. It just means I have the bravery to go do the new thing and try it out. And isn't that why we do this work, is to help others get there? So for those of you who are watching this as coaches, if a client comes in saying they lack confidence, don't put them on a 3-step plan to build their confidence. Find out what's underneath it, because that's what's really driving their lack of confidence. And then also what is driving their surety and their hope. Because if they were truly lacking confidence and didn't think anything would change, they wouldn't have shown up at a fucking session. So what's underneath it? How can we help build them up, but find those drivers and understand what's deeper? And that's what we do with our program, the Real Demos. Help understand what walks in the door. The problem that walks in the door is 99.9% of the time not the real problem, and learn how to go deeper to find out what your client's really experiencing that's creating the issue.
Yeah, for more information, check out our comments below and like us and subscribe. We'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, be well.
Bye.